All right, so here's another shocker. Banksters warn Swiss citizens a yes vote on the Swiss referendum will unleash gold Armageddon. The Swiss are because they want to repatriate their gold. The Swiss are going to vote apparently to get our gold back. We're pulling the Germany. We're telling the Fed, New York and in London, we want our gold back. It's ours. We appreciate you holding it all this time, but we want it back now. Our citizens are demanding it. Once again, Fed don't like that. What did the Fed tell Germany when they said that? Okay, we'll pay you off in 7 years. Whoa, 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 whoa. What do you mean pay us off? Well, not pay you off. We're going to give it back to you. You want all of it. We'll give you all of it back to you, but it's going to take us 7 years to give it to you. We'll give you 50 tons a year until the year 2020 or whatever it was, right? Okay. First year, we only gave them back 5 tons. A little short. Sorry about that. And then Germany was like, okay, well, we'll rethink it. Maybe not now. Maybe we'll ask for it later. So the banksters are telling the Swiss citizens, don't ask for your gold back, and here's why. They're being told that repatriating the gold would likely result in turbulence in the currency market for the Swiss franc. They're being told that bringing the gold back is uneconomical. They're being told that bringing the gold back is a step backwards into archaic, disproven monetary and economic theories. They're being told that bringing the gold back would create enormous currency problems for greater Europe as a whole. The banksters are literally trying to sell the Swiss on the narrative that if they greenlight the repatriation, the Swiss people, a regular Armageddon, so to speak, will commence shortly thereafter. They're telling you, we will dump on your currency. Through the same trading, rigging paper markets, we can dump on anybody's currency. So, he says, the Wealth Watchman, emergency unscheduled post. Hello, brothers. I'm sitting here writing an article when I hadn't intended on posting anything for several more days, yet I must. I can't help myself. Something big has just happened, and its potential ramifications are staggering, not just for the gold and silver community, but for the entire world financial system. This past week, the surprise announcement came that the Dutch National Bank has just finished repatriating 122 tons of gold from the New York Fed. This is unreal, and not for the reason many are thinking. Now, this is a fairly shocking thing, because as we know that for several years now, Germany has been begging, pretty please, can we have a few scraps of our gold back, to the exact same group of Fed bankers, only to be told that you can't even see the gold. It's not safe. Or, well, you can have some back, I guess, so long as you give us 7 full years to return 300 tons. Or, what do you mean those aren't bars you deposited with us with the right serial numbers? Gold is gold, isn't it? Or, why the long face? You got a whole 5 tons back this year, didn't you? Germany, the largest powerhouse economy in the old world, has tried and tried for several years to get the bullion back, much of it to no avail. Yet it turns out that all that time, others were moseying on up to the front of the line to get their gold first, incognito, like the Netherlands. Now, Shield brother, ask yourself this. If you were a German citizen already livid that your government couldn't seem to get anything repatriated from the New York Fed, but annoying excuses as to why you couldn't get a hold of your sovereign gold, how would you feel if you'd been hit with that surprise announcement today that the Dutch authorities had successfully shipped in tonnage in the same ballpark as yours, virtually overnight? Not quite as much, about half as much, but still a significant amount. How would you feel hearing that others had massive gold shipments made, easy peasy, with no logistical problems to speak of? Would you continue to buy those poorly conceived excuses any longer from the New York Fed or from your own representatives? Not a snowball's chance in your grandma's deep fryer. You'd crank up the pressure on your elected representatives in the Bundestag until those boys felt the fire. You would demand to know why others instantly received their bullion while you were rudely told that your gold request could wait in the lobby, so to speak, and go unfulfilled for nearly a decade? You'd hound them to kingdom come, knowing that you were rightfully in line first and yet had been treated as a third-rate power, rather than the backbone of the EU, who'd lent out many hundreds of tons of gold in good faith. So what about the Swiss? Let's take it up a step further. What if you were a Swiss citizen being bombarded by bankster propaganda day in and day out for weeks, leading up to your historic referendum to repatriate your gold from the central banks of the world? Remember, all of the Swiss are right now the recipients of a propaganda bombardment campaign, courtesy of the Western banking elites, who are terrified of the prospect of having to ask for 1,500 rehypothecated tons of gold. They know that gold will have to be bought on the open market, and they know that what that means for the gold and silver price suppression scheme. The Swiss are being told that repatriating the gold would likely result in turbulence for the Swiss franc, their currency. They're saying it's uneconomical, it's a step backwards, etc., etc., etc. So he says, honestly, that's the exact impression you get from these spineless people. It's beyond the pale. These troika-type bankster oligarchical classes have literally no shame and no honor whatsoever. The whole farce would be totally hilarious if there wasn't so much hanging in the balance. But now the Swiss are watching Dutch ships float in, literally sinking under the weight of all that, the millions of ounces of gold that's swelling the decks, without a blood-red moon eclipsing the sun, by the way, and really scratching their collective heads. Just think about it. Witnessing another neighboring European country receive millions of ounces of gold with the greatest of ease, apparently, has to be causing the Swiss populace to ask some mighty dangerous questions right about now, with just days to go before the historic gold repatriation vote on November 30th. Questions like, wait a second, if the Dutch can have their gold, why can't we? If this shipment of roughly half the gold we're asking for anyway, each year for a mere 5 years, can be delivered with nary a ripple in sight, what's all the fuss about? Why are the Dutch authorities fighting to get their gold returned, while our authorities are fighting to have our gold kept from us? If the Dutch government believes that returning more of their gold will give their citizenry more confidence and ability to weather any coming major crisis or crises, then why is the Swiss National Bank telling us the exact opposite? So, the bottom line is, I'm not holding my breath on the November 30th vote, because I don't know what kind of voting system they have over there, but if it's anything like the Western world that we're used to seeing uses, the vote will be changed and rigged. I was just reading something 2 days ago on a forum, and a guy was like, he's like, oh my God, I had the TV on right now, MSNBC is on, and they have a poll that just came up. It was live. We're going to, and they said we're going to do a poll here shortly. It's going to be, the question is the American economy recovering, yes or no? And as soon as the poll went live, it shot up to the no's were massively. So in other words, no, the economy is not recovering according to people doing the vote, average citizens. And it was up massively in favor of no's, like unbelievable. As in, at one point it was like 98-2. Massive. All of a sudden, he says, he said there was no warning. They were right in the middle of the poll, and it just, bang, commercial break. No warning. Just gone. Comes back from commercial, and all of a sudden, it's now 50-50. 50 say no, 50 say yes, and then they let a little time go by, and all of a sudden the yeses start squeaking out the no's, 52-48, 53-47. Next thing you know, it's only 38% say no, the economy is not. In other words, the yeses are in favor of the economy is recovering. 38% no's the economy is not recovering. And it was still climbing down. Now, that again, that's not voting, but that is what we are supposed to think. People are voting by this poll online or on however they were doing. I think it was online. He didn't say if it, the TV was showing it, but I don't know if people had to call in to do the poll or they just did it on the website. But But he's like, I had to stop and write this right now on this forum to tell you what I just witnessed right before my eyes. And someone else commented that I was watching the same thing. I just saw it myself. Perception doesn't change anything, does it? Doesn't change the fact that the economy is not recovering. But the perception is all they're after. So all I can say, though, is for this, I hope the Swiss have some kind of voting system that is not rigged like ours, in that they want their gold back. First of all, if they didn't, there would be no referendum, there would be no vote. So there must be an enormous push from the citizenry to even have that as a referendum to begin with. If there's nothing there, and then all of a sudden a referendum comes up for something, seems like a whole lot of people wanted that. Therefore, the answer is yes, they want their gold back. But if the vote comes through, 51-49, the same American crap, fake vote numbers we get, 51, 52, 48 maybe. We don't want our gold back, 52%. Better luck next time on a different referendum. Central bankers win again. That's normally what I would expect. But you never know. Maybe the Swiss got a system over there that works. We're going to find out on November 30th, aren't we? So, all I can say, I'll end this with, as much as I talk about gold and silver, doesn't matter. Don't even look at the prices. It doesn't even matter. Look at what sovereign countries are trying to do. They're trying to get their precious metals back from the Western oligarchs. Plain and simple. Hugo Chavez was the first one to do it. Sorry about his luck now, because he's been replaced. He's long gone. Doesn't matter. They got their gold. And I'm going to tell you a little secret about the old Webbot. What it said. There's going to be some stories about tungsten-filled gold bars. If we don't have the gold, fake it. Get a bunch of tungsten and put a little tiny coating of gold on the outside. They weigh the same. You'll never know it unless you drill into the bars. But what country would want to drill into these beautiful bars? That's what they're going to probably be hoping. And they're going to say, well, who shipped the bars? Was there a middleman? Who did you hire? Do they have insurance because our gold's missing? And this, well, we didn't do it. They're saying we did it. You're just going to have to sue us for the, The same rule applies to people, that when we talk about if you don't hold it, you don't own it. Well, I got a receipt that says I've got a ton of gold in a warehouse. I can go there anytime and get it. It says it right here in this piece of toilet paper. That's why it's written on a piece of toilet paper. Because it don't mean nothing. It's going to be wiped and thrown away. And the same thing's going to happen to countries. Hey, countries out there, Germany, who couldn't get their gold back and was trying. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. And you just saw firsthand. You asked for it. It's yours. You put it on deposit, secure storage. You've been paying us fees to store it for you, security purposes. And now you ask for it back and we won't even give it. We gave you 5 tons out of the first 50 tons we were supposed to give you for the year 2013. Didn't work. Let's renegotiate on that. Just put it on pause for now. Let's pause the whole transaction. Put like a game. Press pause. Anybody who's paying attention to this would understand, regardless of price, that precious metals are something to be had due to whatever in the hell is going to be happening in the future, because something's definitely going to be happening clearly by the actions these countries and these people are taking. If it's cheap, it's a fire sale. Buy it. That day will come when it explodes. And you're not going to believe the numbers you're watching on your screen. Take care.